Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for attending this webinar. I am going to make a brief description of the Japanese market for material handling equipment. For more details, please refer to the market study that we have prepared on the subject. First of all, some information about the size of the construction sector. In Japan, around 230 million tons of aggregates are produced annually, 170 from quarries and 60 from concrete recycling. More than half of these aggregates are used in the production of concrete and most of the rest for road paving. The two major areas of use are firstly public works, to which an annual budget of between 40 and 47 billion pounds is devoted, and which everything indicates that will remain that way for many years. Second, the construction of high-rise buildings, which continues at the rate of about 30 completed per year. Residential construction, on the other hand, does not seem to offer much potential, since single-family houses are mostly built in wood and the construction of new apartment blocks has been diminishing for some time now due to the population decline. Now, here are some data on imports of material handling equipment. In 2022, Japan imported 208 crushers, 15 of them from UK, and 300 screeners, 47 of them from UK. It should be mentioned that UK is one of the main exporters of this type of equipment. Especially, we focus more than on the number of units on the value of the equipment, which is 17% of the total imported in the case of crushers and more than 50% in the case of screeners. The general trend of imports is upward, and in fact, in the last 6 years, total imports of material handling equipment have doubled. The reason for this is not that demand is increasing, but rather that imported equipment is winning the trade battle against Japanese manufacturers whose production is declining as a result. In this graph, we can see the evolution of imports specifically for the United Kingdom. As you can see, imports of crushers are quite irregular from year to year, but they remain at a good level and with an upward trend. The evolution of imports of screeners is the one that behaves best, reaching in 2022 more than twice the volume of 6 years earlier. This slide shows the entry routes into the market for imported materials handling equipment. The dark blue arrows mark the most common routes and the light blue arrows the secondary ones. The usual way for imported equipment is to arrive in Japan through an importer, distributor, a company that keeps a stock of both equipment and components, has staff trained specifically on that equipment, and has created brochures, catalogs, and instructions manuals in Japanese. Usually, this company works under a mutual exclusivity agreement with the foreign manufacturer. This importer distributor can be a subsidiary company of the foreign manufacturer or a joint venture with a Japanese company, but it is always a company registered in Japan. The importing company sells to customers mainly through secondary dealers, many of them local to each prefecture. These dealers, unlike the importer, are not tied to one brand, but sell products from various brands, including Japanese ones. A foreign manufacturer can sell directly to a secondary agent, but it will probably be a one-time sale with no mutual commitment. Importers can also sell directly to customers by passing secondary dealers, but this is less common. Therefore, there are two options. The first would be to look for a stable partner, a distributor with mutual exclusivity. This is difficult to achieve because the market is already very mature and there are few new opportunities. But if it is achieved, it is the most stable, safe test option, and it offers the best long-term possibilities. The second option would be to try to get occasional sales to secondary dealers. As it requires less commitment from the dealer, it can be achieved more easily, and although it is not a stable relationship at first, it could become one. It is not easy to introduce new products, new brands, new companies in the market, but it is not impossible, and the key is innovation. Presenting products with new features, a little more efficient, a little more compact, with easier maintenance. Japanese companies do recognize and appreciate these advantages, and the manufacturer that makes special efforts to innovate is the one that is more likely to be successful in Japan. It is also important to show commitment, to show that the company will not give up on the goal of entering Japan. It is necessary to insist, travel to Japan frequently, meet with companies in the sector, participate in trade shows, create and cultivate contacts. It takes time and effort, but I would say it is worth it because the Japanese market is big and stable, and because the relationship with partners is long-lasting and rewarding, as it is based on mutual trust. Thank you very much.